1995. The most atrocious night, but below stairs. Bradford know they have won 28 matches since their last home defeat. It was in August 1998 when Sheffield Eagles won here 38 points to 18. The Saints, though, unbeaten in 11 games under Ian Millwood. They're the only team to remain unbeaten away from home so far this year. This is a massive match. Let's take a check on the way the two sides will line up on a dreadful night. Brooker at fullback, McAvoy, Naylor, Boyle and Price. The two Paul brothers, Henry the standoff, Robbie the scrum half and captain. And the forwards, Anderson, Lowes, Fielden, Peacock, Forshaw, Mackay. On the bench, Deacon, Hudson Smith, Bradford and young Robert Parker. At 18, when he gets on, he'll be making his Super League debut. Now the champions and current Super League leaders. Wellens is the fullback. Smith, Iro, Newlove and Sullivan, Sculthorpe in place of the injured Tommy Martin and Long. Up front it's O'Neill, Barrow, no Kieran Cunningham, Nicol, Perolini and Stewart. And Chris Joint is the loose forward and captain. And on the bench, Atchison, Henari, Yonkers and Stankovic. And the coach, unbeaten in Super League, Ian Millwood. Well, that's the sort of night it is. A night for Southwesters and Wellies here at the Odsal Stadium. But it's a tribute to the supporters of both clubs. St Helens have travelled over in numbers, and the Bradford Bulls supporters are here in their usual throng as well to see this game against the Saints, the champions, who beat the Bradford Bulls, of course, in the grand final, and who have not lost since the opening night at Knowsley Road when they were beaten 32-10 by the Bradford Bulls. Kevin Iro is on fire, 14 tries so far this season. And out into the pouring rain, Chris Joint leads his troops into battle. Wonderful ticker-tape welcome this time from the St Helens supporters, but that's nothing compared to what you will see when the Bullman and Junior welcome the Bradford Bulls, led by Robbie Paul. Beaten 42-13 at Warrington last Sunday. The cup holders blew it, having led 30 points to 12 at half-time. Brian McDermott was sent off. He's out for one match suspended. He'll be back for the Wigan test on Wednesday. Grim determination on the face of the Bradford Bulls players as they come home after that defeat. The Bulls are in town, and there's the ticker tape, there's the fireworks. Bradford return to Odsal, beaten for the first time this year. Desperate, these players, to ensure that it won't be two in a row. And these supporters, Steve-O, what a difference a few years makes. They're here in numbers in driving rain. Fantastic effort.
Unbelievable. It has teamed down all day in and around the Bradford area, but they have still turned out in their thousands. And as Eddie mentioned just a few moments before, what a great following from across the Pennines too, from the St Helens fans. They know it's going to be a crackerjack game.
In the control of John Connolly, the fireworks have exploded. The smoke clears from the Odsal Bowl. John Connolly just waits, checks with his touch judges. St Helens will kick off. Sean Long, left-footed, gets this eagerly awaited clash underway. The Bradford Bulls up against the Saints, and the first run of this match from Justin Brooker. St Helens quickly in with the tackling. Forshaw felt the full weight of that. Robbie Paul on to Henry, wide it goes to Bradford, and St Helens eventually claw him down. Jamie Peacock it was, my mistake. This now is Stuart Fielden driving the Bulls up towards the halfway line. Paul down, 4 tackles gone, good defensive stint. Nicol lying on in the tackle, Fielden getting wearily to his feet. The kick from Henry Paul over the top. Good kick too. Price is after it. It just bounces the wrong way over the top of Price, and it's floating down the far side of Odsal, that football.
They obviously want to put the pressure on the winger, Chris Smith. Wicked bounce there, but what a good effort. You can see that if it had bounced up nice there for Leon Price, it was a clear run.
Maybe it's just straight offside, just in front of the kicker slightly. But didn't matter, the ball finding its way to the touchline. This now is Kevin Iro, and you can see that the Bradford Bulls know all about him. Long at dummy half, and here now is Joint.
Didn't surprise me that the way that Bradford utilised the kick, very wet out there, and it's pretty murky too. And I get the impression that they will give Mr. Smith out there on the right wing for the Saints side plenty of work to do tonight.
Good defence from Bradford on show here, just 29 metres, and a knock-on, forcing the error in the wet conditions. Young Scott Barrow adjusts to have lost control of the football.
Well, they picked him up and decked him, and contact with the ground. Just shaked it. Yeah, he did lose it. Only slightly. Well spotted by the officials. Big night for him, Scott Barrow.
Filling considerable shoes, those of Kieran Cunningham. Robbie Paul, the man who feeds the scrum, and gives it immediately to brother Henry. The kick over the top. Chris Smith is after it. Difficult ball, he's lost it. The ball has come away and Price has scored. Now, did Price knock it on as well? The referee will surely go to the video referee for this. But Chris Smith, he might have made a big blunder here, and Leon Price might have scored the first try.
No surprise. They obviously do feel that Chris Smith is a weak link. They're looking to see whether he was onside. Just out of the view of your picture. Well-weighted kick there. And in slippy conditions, he did everything right until this moment here. And he lost it. The ball springs free. Now then, did he get a hand to knock it on? Struggles with it. Oh, has he dropped it? I think he may have dropped it twice. They'll go frame by frame on this. But I think he may have even just had a knock on just a few seconds before. They're rolling it back. Just before there, does he get a fingertip to it? Comes off perhaps the wrist. I think that could be construed as a knock-on.
Well, cast your mind back, Steve-O, to the grand final at Old Trafford when the ball brushed the fingers of one player that night and was called back for the knock-on.
Well, I think that's the knock-on that the referee will give. And I think even on the second attempt, I think he just loses control. There. Only a fraction in it, but I think he'll take the knock on the first one. But it was a real big blunder by Chris Smith.
Well, the Bradford supporters think that
that's play on
this should
now.
be given. That is play on.
It's advantage, and it was kicked first by Price. Then it bobbles off Smith. I think this is where he gets a little bit of a touch with a hand. Definitely loses it just in a few seconds. Frame by frame. Look for the daylight. That's the daylight. It's a big call. If that is in control, and that's what you must do to force the ball, I don't think he's got full control of that. This will be no try for mine.
Well, that's your view. What say the video referee? Bradford wait. Odsel believes the try will be awarded, but the video referee has the final say. And here it comes. Big call. No try. They can't believe it. The Bradford supporters cannot believe it. But the ball definitely slipped out from underneath Leon Price's arm in the very last second, in the act of scoring the try. Well, that has added a little spice to this game. And remember in the playoffs here at Odsel last year when Bradford put the cleaners through St Helens, Chris Smith was the man who was bombed into oblivion out on that far side. And he so nearly paid a big price there too.
Certainly did. Got everything right with his body between the ball and the chasers, but then went down a little bit too late. Let the ball slip away. Bit of a let-off there for St Helens, but I think the video ref's got it right. I think even the first one was a knock-on.
Good chase downfield by Anthony Stewart. Made the tackle on Leon Price cleanly. It's going to be a war of attrition this tonight. No place for fancy football. And the Bradford crowd now on John Connolly's back. They want him to blow up for offside against the St Helens defence. Paul Anderson to trundle it forward for Bradford. Met by 4 blue and white jerseys. The crowd getting more and more frustrated as it's back with Henry Paul. Big kick down the line. Young Paul Wellens moves across. Difficult conditions tonight for players picking up kicks downfield. Wellens with a good run, but met by the tackle from Anderson, and also in there quickly was David Boyle.
Good work by the fullback Wellens. Surprised me that Bradford were a little bit slow to move forward in the chase, but it is quite heavy conditions out there. Oh, that's a mistake from Iro, and that'll be play on.
It is.
Well, that's 2 mistakes Saints have come up with. It really is building now for Bradford. That's a good hit.
No, it was stolen, was it? I think it might have been stolen, that knocked out. Oh no, the referee has agreed with you. I wonder whether this is knocked out by a St Helens arm.
Well, it was a big hit from Julian O'Neill. And I think that the big fella Paul Anderson just lost control of it. Here's a hit, bang. It was the impact. There was no right arm whipping the ball away. He was just swinging into the tackle.
Interesting that Anthony Stewart then, Steve, by the way, was standing at standoff half, and Paul Sculthorpe, named at standoff, was packing down in the scrum. So that's the change that Ian Millwood intimated would happen.
Well, he'll switch them around. He knows that he's under strength. So is Bradford in many positions. Justin Brooker, of course, having to play at full-back. Paul Wellens taking that job for the Saints.
This is the way it looks in all meetings. And St Helens with an overwhelming advantage, purely and simply, well, not purely and simply, but mainly due to the fact that they have such wonderful form on the board at Knowsley Road. Talking of wonderful form, here's Robbie Paul, applies the brakes. He saw that the defence was marshalling across to force him into touch.
Good work from Liam.
Back inside.
Good work from Liam Price. Got Robbie Paul away, but Paul did ever so well in slippy conditions. No point in going down to the outside. You knew that any impact would slip well over the whitewash. Good thinking there by the skipper.
3 tackles gone. Boyles gets to his feet and plays the ball to Lowe's. On then to Robbie Paul. Here's Henry. Back on the inside it comes to Brad Mackay. He is wrestled to the ground. Lowe's, dummy half, stabs it towards the in-goal area, and Sullivan taps the ball dead, but 1 foot was over the line and the ball was still rolling as well. It's a tap on the 20.
Beautiful way to kick though, but well watched there by Anthony Sullivan. These players these days, they practice this. Now then, his foot wasn't down over. It was pretty difficult for the officials to see. They don't have the benefit of the slow motion replay, but you could see there that his foot had not made contact. Still in the air when he contacts the ball. That really should have been a dropout from underneath the sticks.
As you say, the officials out there don't have the advantage of slow motion replays. That's a good ball though from Long to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe is tackled well by Forshaw. Scampering in was Wellens at dummy half. Here now is Sean Long. Angled run from Long, away from 1, away from 2, gives it to his captain Joint, and Joint will straighten it up.
Pretty adventurous play there.
Ian Millwood alongside Eric Hughes in the stands here at Odsal, watching as Long hoists the midfield bomb. This will be a tester for Brooker. He's dropped it. Lucky for him, Price was there, and Price comes forward and then slides on his backside over the 10-metre line.
It's going to be a nightmare for all the players out there. So wet condition. And you could see there that Justin Brooker made a real meal of it. Good work though by Price. Pretty alert, the youngster. There's a fullback Brooker. He knows that he's in for a pretty busy evening.
Julian O'Neill with the tackle, and the referee's patience does not hold at this time. He and Newlove too slow to get off the grounded player.
Trying to slow things down. You can see there O'Neill not releasing the man. Even though he was going backwards, he still had a hold of the ball carrier.
It's a night for the big men like Paul Anderson. After 8 minutes though, St Helens thus far have dealt with him okay. Robbie Paul, good ball to Fielden, breaks the first line of defence, strength from Fielden. He's hauled down. O'Neill and Wellens desperate to repel the border. Now it's with Anderson charging towards the line, held up again. Good defence from St Helens, but can they stand firm? It's back with Henry Paul. Henry Paul then to Naylor, and Naylor had to leap over the top of Sculthorpe, and then he's hauled down 2 metres short. That's 4 tackles gone.
Good work there by Newland. Really put himself about there. They've gone for it.
Yes, Lowe's.
Who else?
Oh, he's gone to the screen again. Hands it on to the video again.
When it was on his back, he made all one movement.
This guy is phenomenal. No doubt about getting the ball down on the second attempt. Not the first time.
Only if he had a second movement.
I think he squeezed it down. We'll see here. He doesn't get it down first time. Sculthorpe did well to keep him from there, but I think he squeezes it down on the second. Gets it past his nose.
Well, I'm not so sure that the ball-carrying arm didn't hit the ground first anyway in the original tackle with Sculthorpe.
Now that it's Sculthorpe's arm that's on the ball. This could be construed as
the defender, Sculthorpe, grounding the ball.
Grounding the ball in the in-goal area. This will be a dropout from one of the near the sticks. He doesn't get it down there. It's wonderful work from Sculthorpe. A little hooker, James Lowe's. There's nothing better than to sneak across for the try. The crowd here won't like it, but I think we're going to get the NOTRY again.
Well, significantly, the players of both sides, as we watch this, have just about formed the scrum.
Well, have they deemed that the tackle was completed when the ball-carrying arm, had he stopped,
yes,
or was he still moving? Now he makes an attempt to try to score. It's certainly no try. It's whether it'll be a dropout or whether it's going to be a scrum. They're quite happy it's going to be a scrum.
Here's the decision. No try again, and a 20-metre restart.
So they have claimed that he has made an attempt, and Sculthorpe has not grounded the ball. So what's he called that for? If he's held up over the line, it should be head and feet to the attacking side.
Oh, blunder from Sculthorpe now.
Well, there'll be plenty of this tonight, and I think both players, both sides know that it is not a night for fancy football. They're going to have to grind it out. He knows it as well.
Well, he did a wonderful job in defence, Paul Sculthorpe, and the ruling is that James Lowe's lost control of the football over the line. Matthew Elliott, the Bradford coach, his men have been denied twice by the video ref.
Ooh, that was
forward by a mile, and the referee agrees.
Well, he looks a bit confused. I don't know why. He passes it virtually on the line, and it's a metre forward. It's 2 metres by the time Leon Price picks it up.
Ian Millwood, nerves have to stand firm on nights like this. 10 minutes gone. Wellens for St Helens. They've rarely been out of their own half, the Saints. Now penalty, hand in the ball, hand in on the ball by Henry Paul.
I don't know why these players try to do that. I know they think that it gives their defence time to get back, but also gives you the opportunity for the side to get some cheap metres forward. Oh, that's dangerous stuff in this condition.
Yes, it is. Perolini was surrounded by 3 opposing players when he received that football.
To be fair, though, their new coach, Ian Millwood, is not shy at ensuring that his players keep this ball alive. It really has been a highlight of this season. They have delighted the fans from all over Super League. Some outstanding tries that they've scored this year.
This is Scott Barrow, filling the shoes of Kieran Cunningham-Barrow, only 19, hooker for the last 2 matches also. And it's now with Kevin Iro, the Super League's top scorer, 14 touchdowns so far this season. Not the most convincing play of the ball, it's on the last. Long will put the kick up, and that will bounce, and Brooker collects. But St Helens inside the 10, they were all offside.
But in front of the kicker.
Give me a signal,
And you can see quite clearly that 4 of them at least. Good work from the referee, John Connolly. And as soon as he touched it, you could see there that Chris Joynt encroached the 10 metres. Allowed to do that. Well, it really is a night for the forwards. Strength will play its key.
Can the owner of a Honda Accord
Fielden plays the ball quickly to Lowe's. He finds Anderson. Anderson might be asked to do a lot of work tonight. There's no ready-made replacement on the bench for Paul Anderson. Brian McDermott suspended.
Thank you.
It's with Henry Paul. Now it's on to Robbie and Brad Mackay on the run, and he flicks it back inside to Justin Brooker, the full-back, who's joined in. 20 metres away, plays it to Robbie. He finds Henry. And Henry Paul makes 5 more metres ground. 4th tackle. Robbie Paul. Wide it goes to Naylor. Hangs on Naylor. Great strength, but also great strength. And the ball was flicked back.
Back to 6. Was touched by a Saints player. Well, that's going to be a penalty.
And it is.
Well, Chris Joynt, he's lucky he's not found himself in the sin bin.
They're saying that he was in touch.
Yeah, his head's on the whitewash before he releases the football. But there again, it's difficult for the officials.
This is Fielden. He's half a metre short of the line. This is a big opportunity for Bradford. Lowe's trying to pinch one, and he's held up again.
Now he's lost it somewhere. The ball has disappeared. How on earth has Lowe's got rid of that ball? Did he just lose it?
Well, he tried to go over the try line.
Well, I'm trying to work out who it is who might have scored this try.
Well, Lowe's goes for the ball and then he loses it. Comes out, he tries to get rid of it. And that's a try if it went backwards.
Fielden, is it?
Now, was it dragged out? It doesn't matter as long as it goes backwards. It's going there. It came off Joint.
Or did it come out of Lowe? Well,
they've got to make a decision. Did Lowe's force this ball backwards? Was it dragged out? It's popping out now. Is there a hand in? Well, it's gone by then. What a night for the video referee. Now, he's losing it there, and it was not dragged out. No. Was it going backwards?
Was it going forwards? Oh, dear.
And it comes off a Saints player.
He's not supposed to rule on forward passes, but well, would that be counted as a knock-on?
Well, that's what he's got to look for. He's definitely lost it there. He's lost control. But does it go backwards? In other words, it's not a knock-on. Now, did Chris Joynt make a move for it? I don't think he did. I don't think he'd no idea. Well, I've gone for no try on 2 occasions. This time I'll go for TRY.
In the belief that third time lucky or unlucky, depending which side you support. Fielden has certainly touched it down, but this is the melee that the video referee is trying to sort out.
He's trying to see whether Joynt has ripped the ball out. If he has, it's try time. I don't think you could give anything other than a try to Fielden.
Let's see. Video referee gives it this time. Stuart Fielden with the try. And he got a try in his last home appearance also, Stuart Fielden, against Halifax. 4 now for the season for the young big fella.
Well, he knew he was going to be a key factor, James Lowe's, especially near the line in wet conditions. Second attempt. He was denied before, no try, but on this occasion, the video referee has claimed that Chris Joynt has dragged the ball away, so therefore it's play on. Good thinking by the youngster Fielden. A vital try at a vital moment.
Indeed, all that pressure. And Henry Paul adds 2 more to his and Bradford's total. The Bulls are ahead by 6 points to 0 here at Odsal. And Henry Paul is now just 1 point away from 200 for the season in all competitions for the Bulls.
Well, he's pretty crafty, his Lowe's. There were 3 men in attendance, and I'm sure that Joynt has been deemed to have reefed that ball away, and Fielden won't come up with an easier try than that. But quick thinking, it had to be scored, and he was first to the ball.
He's always conjuring something up, James Lowe's, isn't he?
Well, he could have had 2 on the board, couldn't he? Remember, he's the man that scores on average a try every 1.75 of a game.
I'm impressed with your mathematics. Henry Paul on to Paul Anderson.
Makes a change. Are you going to be impressed with anything?
Lowe's to Peacock. Good strong run from Peacock. They're under the cosh a bit, St Helens, at the moment.
Well, Bradford are playing the type of rugby league football in this...
That's a great kick down the line.
In this wet weather.
I think that came off McAvoy.
Nearly a chance for the try. Well, St Helens really have to shake themselves up. Paul Wellens, a little bit slow to get across there. And it's that man Lowe's yet again. He's running the show. And that could very well be another try.
Apollo Perolini has just been sent to the blood bin by John Connolly, and that's the reason why. Substitute here in November 1995, the last time that the Saints won on this ground 5 long years ago.
Let's clear the rope, yeah. Chris, you're hanging on a touch longer. Paul especially, have a word, Paul.
Referee just laying down the law to the packs of both teams, and Brian Hanari is the man who's coming on for Perolini, who's gone into the blood bin.
Well, to be fair, Eddie, Bradford should be quite pleased with themselves because they are playing wet weather football, utilising the big forwards. St Helens trying to keep this ball alive. And it's just not the weather to do that.
It isn't. That was Newlove who was driven into the mud. This is Sullivan now, but this wall of defence from Bradford moving up quickly to stop any danger from the Welsh international. Now it's with Joint again. They're making no progress, St Helens. Sculthorpe, big hit on him by Robbie Paul, finished off by Scott Naylor. Barrow gets it infield to O'Neill. Good play, back to Barrow in support. Scampering little run just over the halfway line. That's the last. Joint anxious to get on with it quickly, finds Long, the kicker in chief. It bounces off the head of James Lowes and is wrapped up by Nathan McAvoy.
Hard work and the kicking game will certainly make sure that either of these sides pick up the valuable 2 points. But Bradford, they are controlling things at the moment. They've had so much possession.
And here goes Boyle down the wing. Well, Matthew Elliott, Coach of the Year, up against the NFP Coach of the Year, Ian Millwood. This really is the brains trust of coaching here tonight at the Odsal Stadium. 17 and a half minutes gone at the moment. It's just shaded by the Bradford Bulls, but nothing in it on a filthy night at Odsal. Rain continues to pour down, and this kick could be causing pandemonium for Wellens, but he claims it like a veteran. Terrific take from young Paul Wellens, 20 years of age, but now forced back over his own in-goal line. Drop out from underneath the post. Great pressure.
Great defence. Still moving all the time. He had the opportunity. He really should have tried to get down onto the ground. And you can see there that the ball carrying arm just hit the ground virtually before the whitewash, and the momentum took him over. You cannot take gambles.
It's Paul Wellens' 10th appearance at fullback this year. He seems to have found his niche. Paul Aitchison, regular first choice fullback, remember, on the bench tonight. Anderson with the drive in.
Really is an arm wrestle. And the stronger side, I said before the kickoff, Eddie, that the side who makes the least mistakes probably will come away victors.
Lowes, Bradford trying to get a roll on again. He is the try scorer, Fielden. He's grounded by Julian O'Neill. It's with Lowes again. Now it's with Peacock. He will drive his legs towards that line. It's St Helens' defence at stretch again.
Now then, where's the big fella, Anderson?
It's with Robbie Paul. They're giving it width to Henry. They've come back 20 metres to maybe produce something here for Boyle. Wide it goes to Price, and Price flips the ball back inside, straight into the arms of Iro.
Ready well there. Looking to get away with it. Brad Mackay, the loose forward, was all over Iro.
Chris Smith with a darting run. Collared though by Paul Anderson.
Big opportunity. Boyle out wide. There's no way to go for Price. He had to take the gamble to offload. He was definitely going over the whitewash.
Offside, Bradford.
Never made any attempt to go back the required 10 on the blind side. And you can see there from the high shot, he had plenty to pick from, did the official John Connolly. Well, it's been a long time since the Saints fans have had much to cheer about.
Oh, Iro just held on to that somehow. They're in the Bradford half of the field. That's the second tackle gone. This is really their best opportunity so far, although there have been one or two bombs. This, in terms of territory, as good as Saints have done so far. Midway through this first half. Down to Bill in a moment for news of Perolini as we watch Long. Change direction brilliantly. And again, oh, it lost it, or was it stolen?
I think it was stolen. That'll be play on, or was he offside?
Referee says knock on against Sean Long. It's a scrum down. Head and feed to the Bradford Bulls. News of Perolini then, and also awful conditions at pitch level. Bill.
Yes, Eddie, Apollo Perolini has been taken straight to the Saints dressing room by the doctor, and he's got a nasty gash on his left-hand eyebrow, a bit of a boxer's cut by the look of things. It seems as though he's going to have a few stitches, but should be okay to return. But Saints might have another blood bin shortly, because Anthony Sullivan's got blood smearing his nose, and the conditions really aren't improving. There's still rain falling, there's a bitterly cold wind as well. It's very, very difficult for those players out there, as you can see.
Yes, David Boyle making the blunder. The referee will put another scrum down for a knock-on, but Steve, you believe the ball was stolen earlier off Sean Long?
No doubt about it. There's definitely a hand in there. Sean Long making a long appeal to the official.
Well, they've got their opportunity now. It would have been a different kettle of fish. Oh, and Justin Brooker is going off. And the referee, John Connolly, has just said ominously for Bradford, I think he's broken his hand. And by the looks of Justin Brooker, it's a serious injury, and this will add further woe to the Bradford Bulls. No Stuart Spruce, remember, badly injured.
Well, he
Brooker
knows.
looks like he's got major problems.
He knows exactly that there is a problem with that right arm. Probably heard it snap. You don't mess around in a situation, but they do have a pretty decent replacement in the youngster Paul Deacon.
Yes, but he's not a full-back. It needs time now for Bradford to rejig. Here's Iro.
Well, surely Saints will try to drive through with the forwards.
It's with Long, though. Now it's with Joint. Big hit on Chris Joint, and it was Nathan McAvoy. New Love is a dummy half. Here goes O'Neill. First time, really, this Bradford line has been threatened in this match. Scott Barrow's the dummy half. Gives it width to Long. He finds Sculthorpe. Ooh, that looked a touch forward from Sculthorpe. Fed Nicholl. Nicholl's still going. And Nicholl's just falls short. Half a metre from the line. Sculthorpe, the dummy half. Big opportunity for Saints. Long trying to stab it through, but not the best kick.
Well, the opportunity was there, but good work there by Mike Forshaw. Took it like a slick fielder. But at least Saints trying the pressure. The kicking game out there will certainly create all sorts of problems for every player, every position.
Yes, there are people still, unbelievably, who would like us to return to conditions like this. But this is British summer, and you can always get this sort of weather in a British summer's day, and we've got it with a vengeance here at Odsal tonight. Flaming June has flamed on us. And it's with Sullivan. Scott Barrow coming into dummy half, and he gets it away to Henari. Henari over the halfway line. 3 tackles gone for St Helens. It's with Long. Back it goes. So far, as you would expect, it's a forwards night.
Pretty close to it as well. Big cheer from the crowd here. We're always quite helpful towards the touch judges. Just to see if they could persuade them slightly.
Yes, referee now policing the ruck, and Long with a diagonal kick. That's a good kick too. Henry Paul, is it? No, it's dreadful night for identification. It is Henry Paul. Henry Paul then playing last line of defence for the Bulls now, is he? With Deacon alongside his brother at the half-back situation.
It looks that way. Pretty experienced as well. He knows what it's all about.
Yes.
And he realised, Matthew Elliott, the Bradford coach, he knows that Saints will utilise a kick. You have to.
And Henry has played there many, many times in the past for Wigan. That's off the knees of David Boyle.
Well, it surprises me. Bradford started out in the opening 15 minutes, playing good wet weather football, utilising the forwards. Now they're trying to be a little bit too fancy and classy and keeping the ball alive.
This is Helens. Good chase. Look at the state of the night we've got at Odsal. What a tragedy that a match of this importance and a match of this quality is being well, spoiled a little by the awful conditions that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it's a shame that we don't have a European competition. It would be nice to be down in the Barcelona Bears or...
Yes, it would be nice. Oh, great ball, long. Oh, that ball
back to
knocked out.
6. And it is back to 6.
Yes.
Spotted by the touch judge.
He wipes the tackle count down, John Connolly, so 6 more tackles here for St Helens. They're in possession with O'Neill, and that ball was stolen. 2 men in the tackle. I'm not so sure. Fancy that O'Neill was trying to offload then, but referee took a different view.
It's going to be difficult throughout this game. Lowe's went for the football and then went for the second grab. Nothing that Julian O'Neill can do from that. Of course, when the ball is wet, the big thing is if you can get your shoulder into the man who's carrying the football on his ball carrying arm, it'll just squeeze out like a bar of soap.
Hudson Smith has replaced Paul Anderson. This is Scott Barrow. No one really was running off him, so he had to take the tackle from Mike Forshaw. Nicol now is the dummy half. Once of Bradford, now back at St Helens. Here's Iro. Iro with all the strength. And so too is Nathan McAvoy. Joint trying to nick one. Joint, he's in. Chris Joint is in, the St Helens captain. No need to refer this one to the video ref. And Chris Joint, his 100th try. Chris Joint, the captain, has come up with his 100th try of the career, and what a priceless fall that is for St Helens.
Courageous effort from the skipper, from the dummy half, through the dummy. Nothing they could do about that. McAvoy tried everything, but he's such a strong man. Chris Joint sneaks in on the blind side. No problem about forcing the ball down. Good position by referee John Connolly. Took a while, made sure that nothing untoward. He looked at both touch judges, but there is little doubt that Chris Joint has put the Saints well and truly back in this match.
And he is in magnificent form at the moment, Chris Joint. Tries now in his last 5 of the last 6 for Chris Joint. And Ian Millwood will be breathing slightly easier now. 6-4, kick to come from Long. Sean Long. 5 goals last week against Hull. Over 900 career points now. This a vital kick on a night like this. Hits the post and comes out. Unlucky and a good effort, says John Connolly as he runs past Sean Long, and it was.
You can see McAvoy just hesitates. He thinks he's going to pass it out to Newlove. And that hesitation was sufficient for the big fella to go in at the corner. Full credit to them. No problem about grounding the football. They were really put on the rack for a good 15 minutes. It was all the Bradford balls. They only came away with the 6 points. 2 tries disallowed by the video referee. But I think you'd have to say, Eddie, that technically the video referee got it right.
Yes, 3 times we've gone to the video referee for Bradford Bulls, and it was 3rd time lucky in the 18th minute for Stuart Fielden.
Well, it's a delayed pass, and I'm not so sure that that was forward.
No, Stewart took the pass and Barrow made it.
Well, they're on the line when he offloads. That's all right. Still, it's very difficult. As I mentioned before, the rather partisan crowd here at Odsal, always willing to help the touch judges when the opposition have the football.
As they are at every ground. They certainly are at Knowsley Road as well, so Saints can have no complaints about that. Robbie Paul, Brad Mackay, outstanding signing for Matthew Elliott's Bulls. Young Stuart Fielden, Henari cut him down though, with help from Iro. Another test of this St Helens defence. Forshaw, Henari got to him, but he's still offloaded. Deacon stabs the ball over the top. It's good tactics in this weather, and Paul Wellens will shuttle it dead. He knew that McAvoy was hunting the slip.
Good option by the youngster. Deacon realising that there was nothing down on that right-hand side. Not a regular full-back, of course, Paul Wellens. And it's the right option to apply the pressure. He did well, though. He really has turned into a great player, as this youngster has. What a great find last year. Certainly came to prominence and of course joined the England squad.
A change for the Bradford Bulls. Scott Naylor's gone off and Lee Radford has come on to replace him. I don't know whether that's tactics or another injury, but if it is, the injury toll is mounting for the Bulls. 2 goal line dropouts the Bradford Bulls have forced, though, and this is the result of the second of them, as Lowe's gives it then to Peacock. Great run from Peacock. Good job that O'Neill was there. 5 metres short of the line. Lowe's into the arms of Deacon, and Deacon wrapped up by Hanari. 4 tackles gone. Here's Lowe's again, changing the direction. Fielden looking for his second. Fielden almost there. Good job that Wellens held on to the ankles. He's half a metre short. Lowe's is thinking again. He's dropped it.
Oh, Lowe's had a go there at Iro. Lowe's thought that perhaps he was taken out after he'd lost the ball. I don't think he made contact. Oh, that was good work from Iro. He didn't like it, though, didn't Jimmy?
Little swinger from Kevin Iro, he thought. And he's churning away to the referee as James Lowe's, as is his wont.
Well, let's hope that it wasn't anything untoward. Maybe just a frog in his throat. This is going to go right down to the wire, and it's the side that definitely has the most petrol in the tank late in this game. So tiring out there. Must be so difficult to find your footing.
Well, more Bradford injury news coming in. Bill.
It's a bit worrying for the Bulls because Scott Naylor just went off, as you saw, and he's got what appears to be a foot injury. Meanwhile, the news of Justin Brooker, who went on just before him, is that he's broken a bone in his hand and definitely won't be coming back. So they're picking up 1 or 2 knocks out there.
They certainly are, and as you can see, Naylor having a bit of repairs done on the foot. And remember, the Bulls will face Wigan at the JJB Stadium on Wednesday night. It's a match that the whole country is talking about and eagerly anticipating, and you'll be able to see it on Sky Sports 1 at 8 o'clock Wednesday. And it's a big day Wednesday with the State of Origin earlier from Australia, earlier that day. Wellens, he took the gamble. Mackay was hunting an opportunity, but the ball beat everybody.
Nice little kick, but good play by the fullback Wellens.
He's got the coolness of a veteran, hasn't he, this fella?
Well, he always had it under control. He knew that the next bounce, it was going to go over the whitewash. Good effort by Brad Mackay, not the youngest player out there. So eager, isn't it?
Brad Mackay was our guest last time New South Wales and Queensland tangled. But he's on duty, of course, with Bradford at the JJB Stadium that night, so he won't be with us on Wednesday morning, but you can see the whole game live, 10:30 a.m, Sky Sports 1. And Steve-O will be with Chris and Tony Ray for that. A true blue New South Welshman.
Thank you. I'm sure my 2 daughters in Australia will be quite happy with that. They really are true blue.
No! Sculthorpe tried to offload then.
But why? In your own half like that? That's sheer stupidity. He's been around long enough not to do things like that. And they could pay the price here.
Another opportunity then for Bradford. And Radford running strongly. He's been doing that all night, having a great game. I keep calling him as Radford. His name is Peacock. This is Robbie Paul. This is Henry Paul. They've got a man out wide. It's Boyle. Another man out wide is Price. Boyle held on. Long and Iro making the tackle. Now then, opportunity here. That is number 18, and that is Radford. Wanted the kick through. It's gone through. Oh, I think that's a try. Nicol had a wild swish at it. It'll be a decision for the video ref. Boyle thinks he scored.
So do I.
Offside or not, first of all. second, check the grounding. That's what he wants the video ref to do. Boyle thinks he's scored.
Well, he's onside. You can see that clearly. So that's okay.
He was behind the referee, though. That's why he's called for that.
Yep. Referee couldn't see it, John Connolly, and rightly so. Nicol had a chance. Missed it. So did Boyle, first time. And then it just bobs up. Hello. Oh, thank you very much indeed. That's TRY.
The crowd have told the video referee that.
Well, I said all along, Eddie, that in these conditions, the kicking game can be lethal. Anything can happen, and it has.
It just has for David Boyle and the Bradford Bulls. 2 air shots from Sonny Nicol, and David Boyle gets his 3rd try of the year.
Well, it all came from the silly mistake from Sculthorpe, trying to offload in an impossible situation. What advantage, what gain was going to his side? I said they'd pay the price. It wasn't Price to score it. It was Boyle. You'd be happy with that. I don't think Nicol will be. Had the chance. And you don't get many in these games.
Boyle scored it, but there were white jerseys flooding forward. That's a soft try for St Helens to concede. Having said that, anything could happen in conditions like this. But Henry Paul is pretty sure with his goal kicking. It's 12-4 to the Bradford Bulls. Henry Paul now passes the 200-point mark for the season in all competitions. Boyle's try, Paul with the conversion.
Well, I hate to harp on with the situation about these mistakes. There's another one from Nicol, but it was Sculthorpe's silly opportunity to try to offload the ball. Not that he'll be too upset by it. You've got to take your chances. They really have bossed this first half, Bradford, and fully deserved their 8-point lead. Remember, 2 tries disallowed by the video referee. Correctly, I might add, but it just shows you the dominance that this Bulls outfit have been in the first half.
Paul Aitchison on for Scott Barrow, so Paul Wellens now will move forward. Aitchison will be full back. This is Fielden. Almost to the halfway line. Lowe's, dummy half. Kick early. And that's obviously the message from Matthew Elliott now. Kick, get them down in their own in goal. Sullivan, risky business. Aitchison couldn't get out of jail. Great chase. Great chase, Bradford.
Great tactics. As Eddie mentioned, kicking early in the tackle count. Really was dangerous stuff from Sullivan. On to Paul Aitchison.
There was only Aitchison and Sullivan back there. The rest, you might have noticed, white jerseys.
They're getting it all sorted out, aren't they? 3 dropouts. Shows you the extent of the pressure that Bradford have applied. But it's important now in these final seconds that St Helens try to weather the storm. What a punt. I think the rain has actually stopped.
For the time being. Still 1 or 2 brollies up on the terraces. It's Lowe's again. Here's Deacon. And another kick to the corner, looking for Nathan McAvoy. That surely will skip over the whitewash, and it does.
Again, the option which has been presented to it. A little bit too strong from Paul Deacon. It's not a night for the wingers, and they know it too. At half-time, I'm sure that both the coaches, Ian Millward at Saints, Matthew Elliott for Bradford, will say, look, it is an arm wrestle. The kick and chase is important. Put the pressure on. They'll come up with a mistake. We've already seen so many.
Yes.
There'll be plenty more to come in the second half.
It's no night for the fancy dans. Joint. Wellens, dummy half. This is O'Neill. 4 tackles gone. Saints still in their own half. Wellens again.
Thought he lost it there, O'Neill.
Nicol. Away from Hudson Smith, but there are reinforcements aplenty.
Seemed to just lose this ball. Got it back, not seen by the officials. Good positioning by John Connolly. Must have just had a black spot.
Sean Long went down like he was poleaxe, but Robbie Paul cleans up for the Bulls. It's 1 minute of this first half remaining. Another kick early. A chase down the wing. The ball wins the race.
Psychologically, though, they are wonderful tactics by the Bradford side. They're continually turning St Helens around. Irrespective of whether you're running forward or backwards, you're still burning up that energy. And the adrenaline will certainly be running through the veins of that fella and all the Bradford side. They really have bossed it.
Yes, he will be pleased, Ian Millwood, that St Helens still on paper in this. 8 points adrift, that's all. And we have 20 seconds of this first half remaining. So if St Helens hang on to the football, they will see out the 40 minutes with a 12-4 deficit. If is a big word in this game. Wellens. They're counting down at Odsal to the half-time siren. The next tackle will produce it. It's with Long. Long bounces off a couple, then takes the tackle. There's the siren. That's half-time. A first half dominated by the Bradford Bulls. James.
Wednesday, 8 o'clock, back on Sky Sports 1. We'll see Frank again then on Wednesday. It's been a pleasure having him with us. What a match those players of Bradford and Saints have produced. From us all, goodbye.
Joint, trying to nick one, Joint, he's in! Wanted the kick through, it's gone through, oh, I think that's a try, Nicol.
Five guys at a bachelor party.
The strippers here. Excellent.
One bride-to-be.
Do you love me?
And a very big problem.
She's dead. She's got no pulse.
We're back.
They wouldn't disgrace Old Trafford in the year 2000 either. And Bradford ahead 12-4 at half-time. Get the second half underway. Vital that St Helens score first.
Well, I think it was vital to the fact that Ian Millwood, their coach, would have been quite happy to have a bit of a chinwag with them. They did not play the right sort of football in that first half. I think he'll be quite happy with the fact that only trailing by 8 points, but it is important.
4 times in the past, Steve-O, during this run, he has had to make a half-time team talk with his team behind, and he's worked the miracle 4 times, and he make it 5 in a row.
Well, his unbeaten record looks to be looking a bit shady at the moment, but it's good defence. A bit of petulance there from Sean Long. Wasn't too happy with the tackle. It was all right though, nothing wrong with it.
Price pops the ball up to Henry Paul, and he takes on Anthony Stewart, and Iro is there. Iro and Stewart having a push and a shove at Henry Paul.
Well,
Who, as he plays the ball, then Paul runs straight into the people at marker.
Yeah, but Iro had a second bite at him. Really should have been penalised. But to be fair to the referee, John Connolly, he was more intent in making sure that the Saints' defence was onside.
That's a great run. That's a super run from Jamie Peacock.
He's having a big match, isn't he? And that's the type of work that either side really would look forward to.
Hudson Smith. And that ball comes free. It's a penalty to Bradford. This joint not terribly impressed with the decision.
Little doubt that there was hands in there.
So 20 metres away and a charge from Bradford led by Stuart Fielden.
He's got through some work as well. Picked up a couple of bad knocks in that first half. It was a tough hombre though.
Here's Hudson Smith, he offloads.
Dangerous.
It was, and James Lowe just takes a look and wonders where Paul Sculthorpe came from. Robbie Paul, back it goes to Mike Forshaw. Forshaw straightening it up and into the chest of Sonny Nicol. 3 tackles gone. The second half beginning as the first half ended, with Saints under the cosh and defending against this Bradford Bulls attack. Robbie Paul, back to brother Henry. He'll stab it through to the in-goal area. And Chris Smith just got a finger on it and flicked the ball dead again.
Worked so well in that first half. That's the reason why they're opting to go yet again. Neat little kick from Paul. Smith was equal to the task in that position. As we said in that first half, all 4 wingers really are going to be put under a lot of pressure.
4th goal line dropout coming up from St Helens quickly. Half-time news, Bill.
Well, Eddie, that's evidence already of Matthew Elliott's half-time talk, because they're going to maintain that kicking game. It paid dividends in the first half. They're going to look for more excellence in that department as well. They're also looking for a bit more support when they do move the ball wide. A bit more one man there in support, but otherwise Elliott very happy with the way things are going for his side. Ian Millward, the Saints coach, has moved down to the dugout to be closer to the action, probably so he can see things.
And he's watching here as Fielden goes to the line and scores. Not impressed, Ian Millward. Fielden making the break, beating the first line of defence, and then with the power to get over the line for the try. Fielden gets number 2 of the night for him, and that could be a killer blow for the Saints. Fielden with the try.
Super effort from the prop forward, Stuart Fielden. So much upper body strength. They went far too high. Look at this. Bad effort there from Iro. He just ghosted through the would-be tackle from the big New Zealand centre. That was a woeful effort there by the Kiwi international. But let's not take anything away from this youngster playing prop today, Stuart Fielden. There was nothing in it. There was men in attendance. Not one man decided to go for the legs, and they have paid that so costly price. 4 points. Could it be 6?
Well, the way Henry Paul is kicking, yes. Stuart Fielden, prop forward last year in the grand final, prop forward here tonight. 2 tries from him, 20 years of age, 5 now for the season. Henry Paul, well, I hexed him. He's kicking perfectly, and he hooks it the wrong side of the post. 16-4. 2 converted tries.
Well, we saw the face of Ian Millward, St Helens coach. After watching this, he will be extremely displeased. Look at that. There was plenty there. 3 in and around. If one's going high, then the other should at least go low for the legs. Not surprisingly, he had a big smile on his face. Don't think you'll see that from Kevin Iro.
Well, Stuart Fielden was a substitute against Warrington last week, and he took a real buffeting from the big Warrington pack. But he's come back with a vengeance here tonight. It's 2 tries for him in Bradford's total of 16 points. Saints only 4. Let's go back down to Bill. He was interrupted there by Stuart Fielden.
Well, Eddie, As you saw, Ian Millward pretty disappointed with that one-on-one defending there, because that was the message at half-time, that they had been defending so well in the first 40 minutes and they'd conceded a couple of sloppy tries. Otherwise, they were doing all right, and then they go and block the copybook. But Saints are looking for a bit more speed around the play the ball themselves, a bit more urgency.
This fella's got all the urgency, hasn't he? Jamie Peacock is having a starring role in this Bradford performance tonight. Deacon, high kick. It's spinning around all over the place. Tester for Attrition, loses it. Oh, flicked on by a Bradford hand.
Knocked on by Boyle. They'll take the first one. It looks to be the turnover, but it was on the last. It's been deemed that Bradford player got to it. Boyle made a real meal of it in the end.
I think Price it was who committed the first knock on.
Well, it's roll the sleeves up time now for Saints.
Yes,
They really
they're
are.
champions. They're top of the table. We'll see what they're made of. Joint!
No one coming on the second phase of attack. He was twisting in the tackle. He could have offloaded if there had been somebody there. What Saints really need is a passage of play where they can apply the pressure. It's very rarely seen in that first 40 minutes.
Here's someone who can always apply pressure. Iro showed it to Stewart, and Stewart taking them on. Price trying to rip the ball from him, and he's hauled down 23 metres away from the Bradford Bulls line. Iro is the dummy half this time, and he finds Perolini.
Well, he's a type of player that they really need. He certainly knows how to go forward. That's another problem that Saints have had in that first half.
There's the kick from Long.
Getting over the advantage line.
Oh, and that came back. McAvoy sweeps up for Bradford in the end. It was knocked on against the Saints turnover.
Well, McAvoy completely lost it. I don't know whether he was interfered with either way. Bradford have come up with a possession.
It's with McAvoy.
And
Two tackles gone.
There'll be no rush, Bradford. The man you see at dummy half, James Lowe's, he'll just control things, just from the manner that he did in that first half.
The ball from Robbie Paul. Here he goes again. Jamie Peacock having an absolutely fabulous game tonight.
Outstanding.
Robbie Paul turning, spinning, taking the tackle of Joint. 8 1/4 minutes, second half gone. Lowe's with another kick down the line. Attrition lolloping after this, gets it, will get back before Brad Mackay got the hand on him, and that ball was nicked out of his grasp. It's a penalty, absolutely right.
Forshaw just got the hand in there, just a little bit with the fingers. No doubt about it. But the kicking game from Bradford has been outstanding. Talk about a thorn in your side. James Lowe's really has taken control out there, and he just knows, he's got the experience, especially in wet conditions.
All square the penalty count. Question for you, Steve O. St Helens missing their absent players more than Bradford are missing theirs at the moment.
I don't think you can look at it in these conditions that way, because it's not a skillful contest. It's all about brute strength. And I'm afraid Saints, they've got the weight out there. They're not utilising the forwards. And yet again, they're trying to force this ball out wide.
Iro standing and away from the clutches of Bradford. Good ball from Iro to Perolini, and wide it goes to Stankovic. Stankovic to Tony Smith, to Tony Stewart, who is forced out.
Great defence. And not surprisingly, Jimmy Lowe's gets well-earned pat on the back. Nowhere to go. Lowe's' strength made sure that he wasn't going down, kept him up. Momentum over the sideline.
26 per match average. Currently 20 tonight, and 10 minutes of the second half gone. Time enough to get up to that average tally of tackles for James Lowe's.
No problem with that. That's better defence from Saints. Surely after that woeful attempt from Iro that allowed Phelan through, clean run to the line, Millwood would have sent out a harsh message saying, come on, lift the game. Notice their defence has gone more into a sliding pattern now at Saints.
Could have been pinged there for laying on at the tackle as Radford tried to get to his feet. More Australian Rugby League for you in the morning. 10:30 over on Sky Sports 3, the Northern Eagles against the Sydney Roosters. 10:30, Sky Sports 3.
Good effort by the Bradford pack, though. They're sharing the work. James Lowe's making sure that everyone gets a good run out.
It's a good defensive stint, that, though, from St Helens. Kicking from deep in their own territory, but a good kick for all of that from Henry Paul. Attrition then to Chris Smith, and Smith trapped. The great chase. Robbie Paul all over the top. Chris Smith struggling to get to his feet, trying to convince the referee he should have a penalty. Good defence from Bradford this.
Leading the way yet again, Paul Deacon. He was the first to chase the kick.
Nichols dropped it.
Play on.
Price
was knocked down one-on-one, and it went backwards.
And Nicholl didn't like it.
Foreshore it was.
It's Hudson Smith now. He stands in the tackle, releases the ball, that drops, and Saints swoop on it. Nicholl gets the possession back for his team. Long.
Matthew Elliott will be livid with that. That's back to 6. Then off a Bradford player.
It is. Referee wipes the tackle count down. It's with Long. Here now is Stankovic. Now it's with Iro. And Iro, he's having a great year, isn't he?
Sure is. Tremendous player on attack.
Oh, big hit by Hudson Smith on Stankovic, who did well to get it away from Long. Here now is Perolini. Wrestled to the ground by Jamie Peacock.
Real pile driver there from Smith. That takes it out of you. What a great tackle there from loose forward Brad Mackay.
What an acquisition he has been for the Bradford Bulls. Here's Wellens. Stabs it through Wellens. Oh, knock on
from
Henry Paul.
Under no pressure whatsoever.
That sort of night.
Good work from Wellens, though. He took the opportunity. That's the first time that Bradford have been caught.
He could have been penalised there, Stuart Fielden.
I think it was a trip. Was it Jimmy?
No, Fielden.
No, I think Jimmy Lowe's was the one that put the foot across. Either way.
Hudson Smith
coming off, and Paul Anderson returning to the fray. The big fella for the Bradford Bulls, having to defend here as Long examines them. All down.
Oh, he's got to be penalised there. Second bite at the cherry.
It just allowed the Bradford defence to marshal itself to repel that raid from Sculthorpe. Iro's at dummy half. It's back to Long, then to Nicholl, and Nicholl will go straight, but only for a metre or two before he is hauled down.
Pretty flat though in attack are the Saints.
It's with Wellens now. Wellens just short. It's Bradford's turn to defend doggedly. And here's Newlove. Mackay wraps him up. Newlove's still going though. Gets it away! Chris Joint!
Was it forward? He's going to give it.
The referee can't adjudicate, or ask the video ref to adjudicate on that. Second try for Chris Joint. They somehow squeeze the ball out wide, and Chris Joint touches down for his second try of the night.
Desperation there.
Bradford supporters think that it was a forward pass, but the video referee cannot adjudicate on that.
Well, Newlove did well. Mackay, ball and all, trying to smother him through, but he gets the ball away underneath his body. How he flicks it away is anybody's guess.
Oh, that's a great pass.
Is it ever? Super stuff. Well, when you want to go for a captain's knock, they come up with it. Mentioned the fact that they were pretty flat in attack, and they were even then. This joint just lurks away. What great strength from Newlove. Great try. Well, that silenced the big crowd here at Oxel.
It certainly has. Chris Joint and asking his players for a big effort. He has produced a big effort, and Sean Long is from way out on the far touchline, wrong side for the left-footed kicker. Great kick. What a kick from Sean Long. Saints back in it. 16-10 at Odsel.
Well, what a great fight back. Not the best build-up, was it? They really were stood still, but the strength of Newlove was outstanding. And Johnny on the spot, or Joint on the spot, should I say. Scoops away, took the gamble. Nothing wrong with the pass.
So, St Helens have clawed their way back into a match that looked as though it was running away from them.
And it all came about, the opportunity with the real mistake from Henry Paul. Knocked on when Wellens put the little chip through.
Yeah.
Really
Robbie Paul...
under no pressure, was he, Henry Paul?
He wasn't, and Robbie Paul was asking referee John Connolly for something then, which wasn't forthcoming. As the heavens open again at Odsall. It's Anthony Stewart, tracked down by Mike Forshaw in Millwood, the St Helens Cup. Oh, that's to nobody. They've gone backwards there, Saints. Wellens.
Well, I don't know whether somebody called, they want to get an early kick in, but ghosted between the two of them.
Long now with the opportunity. Angled kick, and it's rolling into the arms of Leon Price. Stankovic gets to him first. Here come the Bulls again.
Good psychological lift, though, for the Saints. They needed it.
Henry Paul.
As Eddie mentioned, it looked as though the Bulls were taking full control of this game.
Anderson now.
Good tactics, though, by the Bulls. Slowly but surely get back into the swing of things, using the forwards. Nothing fancy. Just make sure you get into a good position so you can utilise the kick, which surely must come now.
It's with Lowe's, and there is the kick to the corner. Atchison is there, and Atchison just gets hold of it, but he's forced in goal. McAvoy. There's nowhere for Paul Atchison to go then.
Again, a well-timed and well-weighted kick from James Lowe's. He's having a wow of a game. So important in wet conditions to make sure that it's just in an area where the chasers can give you the opportunity to apply that pressure, as they did then, pull over the full-back Paul Atchison. Such a tall man.
Coming up, the fifth St Helens goal line dropout. Shows you the pressure that Bradford have been under, or put St Helens under. And it's 30 tackles now they've conceded from kicks like this. Huge possession in terms of the Bradford Bulls. And here comes the young gun who's on a hat-trick, Stuart Fielden. And attacking this St Helens defence again.
That's the biggest problem that Saints have to face. They're coming into the final quarter. They've had to do so much more tackling than Bradford. Possession-wise, it's all been the Bulls.
Anderson. Stankovic is lifted out of the way and dumped.
It's just a shame that Anderson just slipped. He would have been through that half gap.
Deacon saw again. Close quickly.
Joint saw it too.
Nose. Robbie Paul. Wide it goes. Great driving run again to the line. Is it Jamie Peacock once more? What a match the youngsters having. Stab to the in goal. Atchison gets to it first. They were hunting again in numbers.
Well, it's like a box of itching powder, this hooker, isn't it? Talk about being a problem.
This is the sixth goal line dropout that's coming up.
Makes you feel so uncomfortable. That is the quality of the little hooker James Lowe's. He's having a fine season.
So they're having to draw deep on their reserves of strength and energy now, both sides. But St Helens, with all this possession coming in against them, it's with the big man Anderson, bang, into the chest of Iro.
To be fair, Iro stood his ground. Just get the impression maybe that Bradford set up for a one-pointer. Still plenty of time, of course.
We're in the last quarter of the match. Despite these atrocious conditions, Bradford and Saints have attracted 13,000 brave souls to Odsall, and you can see the state of the camera lenses, the sort of night we've got. Deacon with a drop goal. He adds the extra point. It's not fog, it's rain. Deacon He took aim, and in these conditions, this is a great effort.
Well, I said it would surprise me, but it certainly didn't surprise the substitute, Paul Deacon. Wonderful execution. Under no pressure whatsoever. St. Helens, they certainly didn't expect it. He knew exactly what he was going to do. That could prove to be a very vital 1 point.
Yes, it means that St. Helens must score twice in the last quarter to wrest this match from the Bradford Bulls. Nothing to choose really between the two sides. Who's your man of the match? That's a great kick-off. 09009 1010 13, the number for you to ring. Long with the kick that found touch. 2 grand final tickets up for grabs for you at home, and the league leadership for St. Helens is up for grabs here.
It was a great kick-off. Paul realising that not take the gamble, give him a chance to perhaps knock on either way. Saints have the possession.
Good hands from Long, and Iro to Newlove.
Big hit, swinging arm there from Anderson.
Quick play, the ball, Joint's looking for a hat-trick now. St. Helens underneath those posts, and he's forced back off his feet, Joint. Plays the ball, Wellens, Long, back on the inside, Hanari.
Well, 7 or 8 Bradford players are offside.
Wellens. That's Sculthorpe. He gets it away to Joint. Newlove at dummy half. Down the blind side he goes, but not for long. But that's the Bradford try line. Iro. Long stabs it in goal. It could be a try. Wellens touches down. The referee will go to the video referee again. Who knocked the ball forward? Henry Paul says Saints did. Paul Wellens says Bradford did. Video ref with another big call.
Smith it is. It's a set move. Did Smith get to it? He certainly did. He loses it. No control there. Chris Smith will be deemed no try, knock on. Definitely touches it. It was a neat little kick, wasn't it, from Sean Long? A set move. He's a winger. He's Chris Smith, and he coming from the whitewash to make sure that he was there for the speed to get through. He got there first as well, but failed to get it down. This will be NOTRY, surely.
Video referee's seen enough. He agrees. And Bradford to restart from the 20-metre line. Chris Smith so close to a try. It was touched down by Wellens after all that, but the ball had been knocked forward.
Most important, though, the last 5 or 6 minutes, it has been St. Helens that have been gaining in confidence. And it is now Bradford's turn to dig deep. Well, they know they've got that 7-point cushion, so they don't have to force the pass.
And St. Helens know they can strike from any angle. But this is a real tough encounter. Anderson. Tell you what, since Stankovic has come on, he's made a bit of a difference. Young John Stankovic, 20 years of age. Deacon, he's made a difference too. Now, this is a tester for Sullivan. He's lost it. It's bounced clear. The Bulls have it. Young Deacon stretches out. He's on the whitewash, is he, or is he just short? The referee says he's short.
Ooh, it must have been millimetres in there.
It's 6 to go, by the way. He's held up on his back over the line as Nathan McAvoy.
From down, head and feet Saints. Bradford, should I say.
Bradford, yeah. More pressure.
Mistake there from Sullivan. A lot of pressure as well from Robbie Paul. Neat little switch pass there from Henry. Oh, could have been a try.
I wonder why John Connolly decided not to go for the video referee on this.
I thought that was a try. It looks to me as though it's on the whitewash.
Henry Paul.
Great tackle.
Super tackle from Iro.
He's lifted his defence and certainly made that woeful attempt on Fielden.
There he is again. Pulling Forshaw down. Lowe's his dummy half. Anderson was the dummy runner. It's with Deacon. Wide it goes. They've got a 2-man overlap. He's going up the middle though. It's going to get reward for a magnificent performance. He's given it to the video referee again.
Didn't lose the ball.
Jamie Peacock thinks he scored. The referee
So do I.
isn't sure. Oh, he's lost it.
Dearly me today.
What a good call from John Connolly.
Now then, he's hurt himself as well. It looked all the world, didn't it, from the other side?
How good is this video referee?
Fair.
What an innovation.
Unbelievable. This will turn out to be head and feet
Oh, I don't know
on
whether
the St.
that's
Helens side, but
I don't know whether that's a grimace of pain or a grimace of the fact that it's a no try.
well,
Looks like it could be pain and maybe cramp for Jamie Peacock. His last start was in the Challenge Cup final. He missed out on the grand final last year, but he has been massive for Bradford tonight.
outstanding. He deserved that. Just lost control. I don't know who it was, but someone just got an ankle tap to him. He was tearing away. That really would have sealed it up.
We've got a break in play while Peacock takes the treatment, and I think it is cramp. Well, it wasn't just a grimace because he lost the football. It was a grimace because of the cramp that suddenly attacked him.
Just brushed Sean Long off. And fair call from referee John Connolly. He's had a good match. And he's in a lot of trouble. He's stressed, is Peacock. Doesn't surprise me. This guy has worked overtime. Look at physique on that lad. So fit these days. Not many beer bellies around, I can assure you.
Not out on the field. Attrition trying to strike from deep for St. Helens. A quarter of an hour remaining. 7 points the difference. Sculthorpe dragged down by Bradford. Here goes Iro. Iro goes to ground and Bradford trying to force him over the whitewash. Wellens. Henari! Oh dear!
Was never going to take that. And that was brought about by wonderful pressure by the Bradford defence. They really got into his face.
So Bradford back in possession again. Here's Brad Mackay, tackled by Newlove. Waiting is McAvoy. Peacock's going off, by the way, as Anderson drives it in again for the Bulls. Hudson Smith has replaced Jamie Peacock. This is another mistake. It's put down.
Well, we expected many. To be fair, Eddie, both sides have done exceptionally well in these conditions. But again, we see Bradford at a time when they've got a 7-point lead, trying to keep this ball alive. They don't have to be pretty. They just have to be short of possession.
Saints in possession now with Iro, now Chris Smith. Well, who has got the most left in terms of stamina?
This is where the three quarters can play their piece in the game. In a tough old toe there, always lost it again. Perolini this time. Just saying it's been a tough old road out there for the forwards.
Hudson Smith dropped that as well. But Bradford allowed to come forward. Bradford gets to his feet. Lowe's gives it to Forshaw. A real war of attrition now. Can St. Helens stand up again in defence? Deacon hauled down by Joint. And maybe he could have been penalised, and he is. Having a second snap at Deacon.
You're pushing him.
Little doubt about it.
And James Lowe's pointing at the sticks and saying, let's take the two. It's going to be that sort of a night. He knows it. It has been that sort of a night.
So he had no point in doing that. Well spotted by John Connolly. Messing around at the play of the ball.
Sinbin. Or would that be too cruel on a night like this?
Perhaps. Both sides getting extremely tired, and that's the reason why you saw James Lowe's pointing to the sticks and saying, hey, come on, Let's make it 9 points the difference.
Ian Millwood is facing defeat for the first time as the St Helens coach. Henry Paul with the opportunity to increase that lead to 9 points. He's missed it. 17-10, it stays.
Bitterly disappointed with himself because he perhaps realised that goal, the 2 points, would have made the coach a lot happier. But it's still going to take a pretty big effort from St Helens to get the 2 points for the league table out of this one.
Well, they're 2 points clear of Wigan at the top, 3 points clear of Bradford. Bradford will make ground on them if they hang on to this winning situation they've got themselves in after 69 minutes. But don't forget that Bradford have to go to Wigan on Wednesday night for a match that the entire Super League world is talking about. And you can see it. Sky Sports 1, 8 o'clock Wednesday night. It's live, nowhere else. If you can't get to the game, next best thing is join Steve-O and me for that. Wednesday night at 8. It will be a stormer, providing we get the weather. Let's hope that summer arrives.
This is where the good kick is so important to Bradford.
Crossfield kick into the arms of Iro. Boyle has returned and is after him. Gets it.
Well, I'm not so sure that was a good idea to try the cross kick into it. All throughout this game, they've been best served by the kick into the in-goal area, which has created all sorts of problems. Remember, it's the Bulls who are leading by the 7 points.
Yes, the Saints have got to take the chances, haven't they?
Well, it's a little bit like when Wigan were at Headingley, as though they were sailing away, and then Wigan decided to start doing individual stuff rather than make sure they had a good kick and chase and allowed Leeds to get back into it.
That's good defence from Robbie Paul. Here comes St Helens. Sculthorpe got the ball away to Joint. He's had a magnificent match. That's the turnover. Man of the match. Don't forget those votes. They're invited now. 09009 10 10 13. 2 tickets to the grand final on offer. We've got 9.5 minutes remaining. McAvoy over halfway.
Good work from the centre. That was exactly what's needed. Just calm things down. Saints will become more and more frustrated. And that's good running yet again.
Hudson Smith. Bradford looking to close the match out. St Helens hanging on grimly. That ball was never played properly.
He just flicked it out. There'll be a penalty. He tried to get away with it. And he just flicked it away. Well, they're not going to be kidding the officials this easy. There you go. James says thank you. Hudson Smith come up with a real blunder.
Well, can the Saints? Oh, that was fractionally forward maybe from Long. Stankovic to Iro. Iro, they know the danger of him. He's offside. Mike Forshaw's offside.
Deliberately interfering, knocking the ball down on his way back. The knock-on from Price as well, and therefore Forshaw was obviously offside. Nervous times for the Bulls.
They are, and Saints aren't giving this up easily. And the Bulls on the wrong side of the penalty count as Hanari gets to within 15 metres of the line. Scott Barrow is the dummy half, and there is Perolini. They're 8 metres away now. Barrow again. And Barrow trying to pinch one himself, the youngster, to within 3 metres. That ball's come out. Penalty, St Helens. Hands in.
Certainly interfering.
Quick tap. Back it goes to Long. Long looking to pitch. One is over. Sean Long with the try. The referee hasn't given it yet. Bradford are appealing, but the try is given. Sean Long has come up with the 4 points that sets us up for the finish of the season. Long with the try. Saints on out of this.
Well, the penalty all coming away. You can see there Anderson interfering, had to play the ball. And there is little doubt, and from it, they kept this ball alive. Good work from Sculthorpe. Good dummy, spins away. They will not lie down, this St. Helens outfit these days. What a finish we're going to be left with.
If Long can convert his try, the gap is down to a point. He's drifted it inside the right-hand side of the post. Sean Long 6 gives St. Helens hope. It's 17-16 at Odsal. Hang on to your seats. The match ain't over yet. The backbone ain't singing.
Well, Anderson, he gave away the penalty, but it was the offside from Forshaw, about 35 metres out, that give them the place to fire this attack. And Sean Long, well, this Ian Millwood, he digs deep and asks so much from his players. As Eddie has mentioned, it's not the first time they've had to come out at half-time.
St. Helens fancy they can win this now. 6 minutes to go. 1 point the difference.
I was trying to get behind him.
Barrow takes the tackle. And on comes Tim Yonkers. His first appearance in the first team.
Played the ball very, very quickly indeed. And Wellens comes up with a mistake.
Wellens' mistake, Yonkers with the play of the ball. His first appearance in the first team since against the Bulls last June, and Ian Millwood knows that little mistakes like that could cost him his winning run.
Well, to be fair, in wet conditions, Yonkers really played that ball back so fiercely. Very difficult for Wellens. Now then, can the Bulls seal it?
They're looking to cement it now. 5 minutes to go. Henry Paul wants to get on with it. Will attack the defence from dummy half. Halted 20 metres away from the line.
Just drive the forwards, keep possession.
Lowe's.
Then go for the 1 point, or at least make sure that they get the kick into the in-goal area.
Fielden gets to his feet 9 metres away. Lowe's to Robbie Paul. Wide it goes to Deacon. They've got a man on the overlap. They've got a man on the overlap. He's bounced over Mackay.
Is it a double movement?
St. Helens are claiming a double movement. And the referee wants the video referee to check it.
I think he'll give a double movement as well. Ball carrying arm is down. That...
Was he held?
I think he was. Going to be difficult. Did he release him? Did Chris Joint release the Bradford loose forward, Brad Mackay?
He only needs a hand on him.
There he's down. I think that's a double movement. I think they'll claim that Chris Joint has definitely completed the tackle. Once the ball carrying arm is down, that is a double movement. This will be no try, and surely a penalty to Saints. Mackay went so close. What a night Chris Joint has had. 2 tries, and this try saver surely has left the Saints in with a glimmer of hope.
It's the 7th time tonight we've gone to the screen, the 6th time to adjudicate on the Bradford Bulls.
No.
We're all waiting. Here's the decision. No try, double movement, penalty kick St. Helens. Mackay denied. Ian Millwood breathes a sigh of relief. 4.5 minutes to go. 1 point in it still.
Well, the Wellens knock-on gave the opportunity for the Bulls to seal this game. And Chris Joint has come up with an absolutely wonderful tackle.
So here they come again. 17-16. It's as close as St. Helens have got in 5 years of trying at Odsal.
Listen to the crowd here. They're hoping to lift the Bulls just to go a little bit further. Surely they'll hang on.
There's 2 Bradford players hit the deck in back play. They collided with each other. Anderson's one of them. The referee has seen it, and he's held the clock up because Anderson, he's cut to ribbons.
It was a stray boot, flying boot from one of the St. Helens players.
No, I think he collided with his own man, Steve-O.
Well, I saw a flying boot. I thought that was the reason. Nothing wrong there, and it's a flying boot as he goes up. Yep.
Oh, you're right, Henari.
Henari's boots rip him apart, and that is plenty of claret.
It is. He needs a bit of help there. Kicking early in the tackle count. Henry Paul's back there. St. Helens flooding forward this time. Iro looking for the mistake. Great chase.
Great kick there from Sculthorpe.
What a time for Robert Parker to come on for his Super League debut. And there he is.
He certainly hasn't shirked the job. Give me the ball, he said. I've got the fresh legs. Good thinking from the youngster.
We've got 3¼ minutes remaining at Odsal. Compelling stuff in the Super League again. Bradford 17, the Saints 16. Both sides desperate for the points. Bradford in possession, roared on by this crowd. Robbie Paul.
Well, on the hoardings outside the Odsal Stadium, it says unfinished business. At the moment, Bradford will finish that business. Good kick, good work from Sullivan. Kept it in field. They're still in with a chance.
Great chase. What a chase from Mackay. Right, St Helens, maybe their last throw of the dice. Wellens, big hit by Fielden as the youngster Robert Parker got him low down. Parker from dummy half. And he escapes the clutches, does Barrow. Matthew Elliott, Ian Millward, head-to-head in the last 2 minutes. A point between the sides. Mueller.
Good
What a
tackle
story it
from
would be if he gets over.
Ball carrying arm did not touch the deck. Play on. Seconds ticking away.
Yonkers, that's a better play the ball this time. Sculthorpe, long, wide to Iro. He went for the intercepted Boyle. Iro, still going Iro. Still going Iro. Fantastic run.
This is the last. Surely the kick, the bomb.
Maybe the drop goal. No. Long hoists the high kick. Anthony Stewart's after it. Well claimed.
What a great take. Lee Radford it was. Under so much pressure. The tension on the coaches' faces.
A minute and a half remaining. 1 point in it. Parker. Well, he hasn't shirked it. This youngster who was born not too many miles away from St Helens in Lee.
Up the jumper stuff now from Bradford.
Will St Helens, they might, looking at the tackle count, have one last chance. They might get 6 more tackles. Look at Millward, he's on the touchline, dripping wet.
He's told his wingers to get back.
That's the reason why. Big kick downfield. Sullivan's underneath it. 6 more tackles in this match. There's one of them. And look at Matthew Elliott, animated on the touchline. Great run from Sculthorpe.
He says 1 set of 6, that's all it needs. He doesn't want them to give away a penalty either.
Great play, joint.
They've got to keep this ball alive. They cannot afford to go down for another 2 tackles. They've got to keep spinning, they've got to keep moving it.
2 remaining. Will they go for 1? Sean Long went for it, and the ball runs dead. That's probably the match for Bradford.
It's all over, and he knows it. So does that fella, Ian Millward.
Well,
it's been a good fight back in the second half.
It's been a fantastic fight back, and what's more, although Ian Millward has lost his unbeaten record in the Super League, the ship has gone down with all guns blazing. The relief around Odsal. Matthew Elliott doesn't look terribly impressed about something. Ian Millward, his first defeat in 12. Matthew Elliott's men close the gap at the top of the table. What a match. What a match in the most appalling conditions here at Odsal. Paul Newlook goes off to the booze that may be reserved for referee John Connolly. The players shake hands. It's been a titanic struggle between these two. And it's a couple of tries from Stuart Fielden that's helped